Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am your host Mia. Today I'm going to be trying out some art supplies I picked up from this Japanese store in Canada called Oomomo. It's supposed to be the Daiso of Canada, but it starts at $2.75 and higher, so you know, not exactly the same. So I picked up some alcohol markers and a sketchbook. I actually made 2 trips to the store. I bought the markers before sometime last year, and the sketchbook I recently got because the time I went the first time they had no sketchbooks and I was shocked. And then the second time when I went, they didn't have the markers anymore. So yeah, it was kind of weird. But I'm glad I didn't buy all the colors because I got things to say about these. I grabbed 4 sets at $2.75 each, so a total of $11 plus tax, making them about $1.40 rounded in Canada. And I'm gonna say right off the bat, they're not worth that much. I've seen these markers and this brand from other Japanese YouTubers since they have, Daiso there and they actually have much better dollar store stuff there. And they made it look so good. So when I saw these, I was like, oh my god, we have some here too. But maybe I just got defected ones? I don't know. I decided that I'm going to use the colorless blender despite I wanted to do mostly these supplies because let's be honest, I don't want to. This is not just a only I'm using those supplies, I am using a mix of my things. So these markers come with the brush tip, which is significantly thinner than ones like the Ohuhus or Arctics, and then they have a chisel tip, and we are going to do some swatching. The paper from this sketchbook feels a bit more thicker and smoother than regular sketchbooks, like the ones you get like at Dollarama or something. So I did like that. The nibs were okay, although some of them had pretty bad brush nibs, like the light pink and the orange. It was very flimsy, and I think it was basically frayed. Although that could be on me because I bought these around last year and I have not used them until now. So I'm probably not going to say it's all of its fault. Despite the troubles with the markers, they did blend nicely on this paper, even though it's not marker paper. So I'll give them a bonus there. It's just that the brush tip is kind of... I pre-prepped the illustration with the colors in mind, and so I went with these cute little fairy gals. I used my Ohuhu Fineliners for these. Again, another where I used my supplies that I already own. Ah yes, the cap does not stack on the back. Sad face. Oh gosh, though, now we begin the process. First things first, I really should have used my cardstock paper because these bled like crazy, and I got quite frustrated when I was coloring this piece, in all honesty. The colors are bright and nice, but goodness, is it gonna be a mess. Like, drawing outside the lines is one thing, but I don't know, it got very messy, and even after it's dry, I feel like it spreaded even more, so I was like, bleh! Such a pain. But yeah, for the girl on the right, for her skin tone, I used the colorless blender just to give a little bit of a blend. At least I thought I was trying to do something, but I don't really know if it did anything. So, yeah, overall, the coloring wasn't too bad. It was pretty painful, using the brush nibs, so there will be a number of times where I switched to just using the chisel nibs because they're more reliable. Yeah, it was kind of murder. Ah yes, bird footage. My bird decided to come on my little desk while I was filming. It was so funny. I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? Silly bird. And he tried to eat my paper. And I was like, no, don't eat the paper. No. Okay, back to coloring. He went on his little cage and he just flapped away. There was a little difficulty because of the limited color selection as well, but I think color-wise it was okay. And here's also where I figured that I forget that colors can layer. I don't know why suddenly I didn't think of that, but I had a realization when I do the stem of the other flower where I made like a green. I was like, oh my god, I forgot I can do that. I think using the stuff that I already owned, like the liners, and I actually used like a little bit of the Sakura gellyroll, maybe not a little bit, I probably used a lot, but those kind of like I think salvaged this drawing because oh god, I was definitely not happy with how this turned out. Even though like I guess it's not that bad, but it was just difficult to use because of all the spreading and I mean the bleeding. But that's on me because I was just testing, trying to be daring using paper that's not really meant for alcohol markers. It was, even though it was frustrating, I think it was pretty fun though. But yeah, overall, I think this turned out okay, but I was definitely not satisfied. So you will see there's a part 2 to this drawing. Oh gosh, this nib. That will be attempt number 2, which we will see in a few. And here's the final completed version of the first illustration. Yeah, it's okay. And here's test 2. So this one I used my regular Hammermill cardstock, which I use for all my marker drawings, and already it felt so much better. So I guess I can kind of salvage these markers a little bit more. But already, like, the ink wasn't bleeding, the color was actually a little different. On here it's a little lighter than it was on the regular, like that sketchbook paper, but I was still able to sort of pull in some values. Because of my limited color selection, I could only do so much, but this process is by far much more comfortable, at least. Still not the best, but it is definitely much better than what I was working with in the start. That one was just, oh god. Other than the tips are still, like the brush tips on at least 3 markers or 2 of them are still bad. But I used the chisel side more. Although on the flowers, I did actually kind of like use the frayed brush nib just to kind of give a little bit of an illusion of color, and it did really nicely for like a blended look. So that was an interesting use, but that's only for like I wouldn't say that, you know, the marker's meant to be used like that, no. But I was still able to use it somehow to make it look good, so not too bad, but no, still, not good on them, not good on them. This piece was definitely much more relaxing to do than the other one, so it was nice, but would I recommend these markers? No, I would not. I would recommend these ones very much. I believe you can get a better deal with things like markers like Ohuhu's or Arctics, or even the XSG markers that I tried out earlier. Those are even better than these, I feel. So I don't think you should spend your money on these. They're kind of like, you can get a similar price for a better product. Of course, it's up to you, but I'm sorry, Oomomo, I had a difficult time with these. It was fun. It was fun to test it. I was very curious. So, you know, curiosity's done, and hopefully yours too. Despite all that, I do really like how this drawing turns out. I'm very happy with it. The colors are quite nice. Sure, I wish I had a bit of more extra colors, like maybe like for the background or like the flowers or something, but I made use of what I had. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, the sketchbook though I would probably recommend, because that was also like $2.75, which is pretty cheap, and it's a nice sketchbook. It's very thin though, and I would use it for like, you know, casual stuff, doodles. I guess if you want to use frog markers, you can go ahead, but just be mindful it's gonna bleed a lot. But yeah, so that's my trying out supply video. It was fun, despite being very frustrating too in the first half, but it was fun to do something like this and just kind of challenge myself, sorta. I guess I was challenging myself, I don't know. But yeah, here's the final piece of the second drawing on my regular marker paper, which I use as the Hammermill 100-pound digital copy paper thingy. So this is a comparison, like I was comparing both of the illustrations, like that's the first one, this is the second one. I've used the same markers here, but definitely is much more comfortable. Maybe because I did a portrait instead of a half body, I don't know. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!